What's up? So I woke up this morning and I was talking to one of my mentors. We had a small conversation about my motivations and my intentions in life. And he asked me what I think people think about me. And I said, I think most people think that I'm an asshole, an arrogant asshole, right? And he said, well, do you think that? And I said, no. And he said, so what do you think about yourself? And I said, I think I'm a leader. I think I'm an innovator. I think I embody a lot of the traits that a lot of people want for themselves. And he said, well, I told him a story. I told him about what I'm going to tell you. He said, Aaron, you sound like someone who is trying to run from victimhood, who's trying to escape being a Vic, as they say in Chicago. And I said, yeah, I'm not a Vic. And he said, so why do you feel like you need to seek vengeance? And I said, I don't need to seek vengeance. I'm a very just person. I seek balance, equality. And he said, well, you cannot have balance and equality and justice if you do what these people have done to you. What you need to be doing is doing something that they cannot do, doing something that they didn't expect you to do, and giving them a new light for them to bless their eyes with. And I said, sensei, that was deep. And he said, I want you to go on Facebook or YouTube, and I want you to tell them the same story that you told me. So this is the story. Now, if you don't know, I'm going to start off with this. How you doing, Katarina? How you doing, Jess? I watch a lot of Dragon Ball Z. And in Dragon Ball Z, the Super Saiyans become stronger as they get closer to death. It's in their genetics. I forgot what it's called. It's a Japanese word. Now, this is not a story about me being a habitual cheater, because I'm not. But when I was 16, I met my first girlfriend that would become my girlfriend when I became an adult. When I turned 18 is when I started to have my spiritual awakening. Now, my whole life I've always had premonitions and been making magic happen and things like that. I had my spiritual awakening. Okay, I went on Google. Something happened. I went on Google and I tried to figure out how to strengthen my psychic powers, and then I found the information about the chakras, and it went from there. So, my grandfather died. I felt it. I predicted it. I woke up. I couldn't breathe. It felt like an asthma attack, I would imagine would feel. I don't know. I don't have asthma. Went back to sleep. My mom came in the room, told me my grandfather had died at the same time that I was having this dream. Well, it wasn't a dream. I actually woke up. So anyways, I called my girlfriend. I told her that I was coming up to Chicago from Atlanta for my grandfather's funeral. I decided that I would stay up there because I wanted to be with her for real, for real, for real. Okay? Long distance relationship. So I went up there, surprised her, stayed, and I was still doing my meditations. Still working on my third eye. And every day at around 8 o'clock, I would feel the same sensation that I felt when my grandfather had died. He died of lung cancer. And every day around 8 o'clock, 8:04, and I chalked it up to me smoking Newports and me smoking Dutch Masters and me smoking Garcia Vegas, because I was a blunt smoker back then, a very heavy blunt smoker. I smoked about an eighth a day to 5 grams to 7 grams a day. But it wasn't that. I eventually found out, and this is why I mentioned the Super Saiyan thing. I eventually found out that my girlfriend had been cheating on me. And how I found this out was she accidentally called me while she was cheating on me. And I heard a lot of things I shouldn't have heard. Now this changed my brain chemistry, and I was so hurt. I was so hurt that I just needed to do something crazy. And so I took my grandmother's car and I drove it probably 50 miles per hour in a residential area where the speed limit was like 20. And I just drove and drove and drove, and I put on, I forgot what song, it was a Project Pat song. And then after that, I started to remote view. I started to see and feel every time that she was cheating on me. And the reason that I couldn't breathe at 8 o'clock was because she was cheating on me every day at 8 o'clock. And I asked her about this. Now, we're gonna go back to when I said that people think I'm an, wait, hold on, I need to get my charger. We're gonna go back to me saying that people think I'm an asshole because I would be blatantly doing things to hurt people, and I would be doing things to show them that I was capable of doing these things. And this woman was a Leo woman. How you doing, Stephanie? And she was very blunt. She was very cocky. She had way too much confidence to be somebody who had not accomplished anything in life, because we were both 18, we were both living with our families, and I had a job and I was doing some other stuff. I actually moved to Chicago. I mean, one of the benefits of Chicago is you can take advantage of a lot of criminal activities that go on around you, all right? And so many killings going on that the police really don't care about anything else as long as you're not selling any hard drugs. So we were having this conversation. I don't remember what we were talking about. And what she said was, she said something to the effect of, I'm really with you. No, I said, what if I cheated on you? Something like that. And she was like, I'm with you. One of the reasons that I'm with you is because you can't cheat on me, Aaron. And she laughed about it, but she was very serious. She was very serious. And that statement, her saying that, motivated me a lot. So the combination of me hearing her cheat on me feel, remote view this, because I was in love with this. I hope I will never be in love with somebody in the way that I was in love with this chick. I was so in love with her, and I was 18, so I was irrational. And I want to tell you one thing. If you really if you're in love with love, how I am and how I used to be, do not do any research on love, the science of love. Don't do any research on it. Being in love, because what you will find will destroy you. It will alter every relationship that you have, even the relationship that you have with your children. So don't do any research on love and how it works in the body, and don't do it. So the combination of her cheating on me, the combination of me being able to remote view now, the combination of me feeling it, and her saying, Aaron, I'm with you because it's just safe, because all my other boyfriends have cheated on me, and you're just so gameless, and you're just a simp, and you're just so corny, and you're just so skinny, and freaking all these things. You smoke too much weed to have a conversation. That's why I'm with you, because nobody else will want you but me. And I was like, all right, cool. So guess what I did? Of course I cheated on her. And the fact that the woman was she was the most attractive woman that I've ever had any sexual encounters with in my life. And and she was so thick. Oh, she was so thick. AaroniMoses, I don't like I mean, I like all women. I don't discriminate, but my preference is just thickness, just thickness, just thickness. And she was Latina, and she had these eyes. She was so thick. In fact, I didn't even know she was pregnant. She was like 3 months pregnant. She was cheating too, and she was my homeboy's cousin, and it was just the timing. It was so good. And that's not even important. I wanted to be with her. I'm glad I'm not. I'm glad I didn't make that move because she's crazy. She got mad at me because my phone died when I was taking down her number, and it didn't save. It didn't save, and it wasn't my fault. So she really didn't mess with me after that. But anyways, it was very liberating. And me telling her, like 2 years later, that I cheated on her, right after I broke up with her, right after her birthday. I broke up with her on her birthday purposely, and then like 3 days later, I cheated on her. Bro, because we got back together because I knew this would happen. We got back together the next day. Her birthday was on a holiday, and we got back together the next day because she begged me to get back with her because she was so attention starved. All right. The second time I cheated on somebody because they cheated on me. I'm not a cheater, but again, we're going back to this victim mentality, this slave mentality, this uncreative, unoriginal mentality, doing something to somebody because they did it to you. And again, what my mentor said was not to do things to people because they do it to you. Do what they can't do. Do what they think you can't do. Okay, and this is the reason, because the second relationship I had, she was an Aquarius, and she had that same mentality. You're safe to be with because you're just in this place where no respectable woman would want to be with you. And this was only 2-3 years later. This was when I was 20. All right, 21. 2 years later. So Madison cheated on me all the freaking time. She was even talking to my cousin on that level where he felt comfortable enough to send her a picture of his penis. So I cheated on her. Now, everybody's gonna say, well, why cheat? Why don't you just break up with them? Because I needed that balance, and I needed to fulfill that liberation, because hurt people, that's why. I didn't just cheat on them. They cheated on me because they first of all, they had daddy issues. Second of all, because they didn't value me. Okay? Because when people value you enough in their universe, they'll do whatever the fuck you want them to do. And me making one of the stipulations, hey, just don't cheat on me. Okay? They didn't value me. They didn't care if I lived or died. They just wanted me for that power. That power. Because weak people, they need that false sense of power. So I already said the chick's name, Madison, cheating on me all the time. So I cheated on her twice with actually somebody that I know right now. And that's why I have a son. That's why I have my son. And the fact that they knew each other, and the fact that they just talked, and they were just such good friends, and they communicated, it just made it that much sweeter. And the fact that she was gonna join in, it just made it, I just felt so, what that did for me spiritually, that made me feel balanced. That gave me the ego. That gave me a lot of dirtiness. Not only did it give me a son, not only did it give me this solar plexus energy that I have right now, and this root chakra energy, it was very fulfilling to the lower chakras, very. Now, the first time was all third eye, 6th chakra, crown chakra energy. This one was lower energy. And then I've only been in 3 relationships. I didn't cheat on Alicia because I was in the house all the time, making money, building this Facebook with you guys. But the 3 times, wait, I'm missing something. Oh, Liz. Yeah, that opened my heart chakra. Now, Liz, she did not cheat on me. And I didn't have sex with anyone else when I was with Liz. I don't believe. But, wait, hold up. No, I didn't. But I emotionally cheated on her. But for a very great reason. The reason was very personal, and I'm not going to tell everybody our business. But I will say, it opened up my heart chakra, and it made me realize how the capacity that I have for loving people. When I started to work on my heart chakra when I was 19, I was walking somewhere in a field, and we went over a hill and came down, and I don't know, I think the clouds moved from the moon, and I looked at this moon, and I began to weep. I cried, and my heart just opened up, and everybody was like, nigga, you crying? I was like, bro, look at the moon, it's just so beautiful. But it was that same experience, and all of these women, except for Alicia, I still talk to today. All of them. Wait, except for one. Except for that one and Alicia. Because that was just some spur of the moment. It was just some lady I met in the gas station. I was about to, I just put my stuff on the counter. I just pulled my penis out, slammed it on the counter, and then we went back to her hotel, smashed. That didn't happen. But it was close. It was close. It was only like a 5-minute interaction. Anyways, but I'm not saying that you should cheat or that this is how you open up your chakras. It's just me meeting that balance. That wasn't even Aries. That could have been the Aries. That was the Libra. That was the Aries. It was motivated by the Libra. It was executed by the Aries, though. It was motivated by the Aries. It was executed by the Libra. And who were all these people? We have a Leo, of course, was the first time. And I think the chick I cheated on her with was a Cancer. Then the Aquarius. Then it was a Taurus. And then Taurus. An Aries. So, and then my son is a Taurus. What's up, early morning trapping? What's up, trapping early? She bad and bougie and whipping up birdie. My cup is so dirty. Hey, but that's how it happened though, man. Cheating. So just to recap, my girlfriend, my first one ever, I love the shit out of her, man. And she has a son. And you know what? Karma, bro. Karma happened to all these women. All these women's. Now the first one, I called her probably 2 years ago, and she was like, I asked her how she was doing, and she was like, I have a son. And I was like, okay, where are you living now? Send me some pictures. And she was like, I'm staying with my mom. I was like, you live with your mom and you have a son? What, something happened? Like, you were in school last time I talked to you and you just graduated. Like, how did this happen? And she was like, well, I was living with my boyfriend, and then I told him I was pregnant, and I went to work and I came back and all his stuff was gone. And I was like, that sucks. But the first thing I thought was, because you're a cheater, because he didn't want to have a baby with someone of your caliber, with your character, because you stay in that same area that you stayed in when we were together. You fucked my cousin that lived around the corner, and I knew you did, even though he never told me and he would never admit it. But I don't need you to tell me. I don't need you to tell me. And her friend kind of told me that he gives them rides to class at the same time every hour. I was like, oh, yeah, they're about to fuck eventually, because that nigga he's. However, I don't even want to go into that situation. I'm not even mad about him. I'm not even mad about him doing this. And then he tried to fuck Madison. If he would have had sex with Madison, I was so attached to just the spirit of simpness, which is dictating everything I did. I would have probably killed him. And yeah, even though it would have happened, I wouldn't have felt anything doing it either. And I would have been okay with getting caught. And I would have did that time. So I'm glad that didn't happen. But you know, the second time that I cheated, it just made me feel more grounded. It made me feel more human. But the thing about it is my mentor and I were we had to agree to disagree, because what he said was, to be a true leader, which I told him I was, and that was my goals and my intentions. To be a true leader, you have to do things that people, you don't return the favor of doing what people do to you. You do what they think you can't do. You do what you know that they can't do. And I did that. I mean, they didn't think I could cheat on them. They didn't think I would. They didn't think emotionally this is something I could do. Like my dick just wouldn't get hard because I was so in love with you. No. That will never be the case. Never. Probably, most likely, no. And biologically, that just doesn't make sense. It just doesn't. But I'll tell you this though. The first time that I ever cheated on my girlfriend, this is kind of karma too for me, because I've never sexually interacted with somebody that attractive, that beautiful, and that thick. Jesus. So, I mean, that affected my energy. So, with that being said, guys, do what they don't expect you to do. Do what you know for a fact that they can't do. And always turn up on those motherfuckers, bro. Not vengeance, justice. We justice gang over here. Aries gang, Taurus gang, Gemini gang, Cancer gang, Capricorn gang, Libra gang. Drop your sign right now. What's your zodiac sign? Because, bro, hurt people, bro. Because I love so hard. I have Venus and Taurus, son. Like, you don't understand how much I love people. You don't understand. And that felt really creepy. But when these people did these things to me, this is why I always make the effort to fuck people's minds up to the best of my ability. And it's very pleasurable when they hurt me, because I don't initiate this shit. I mean, they say that when somebody cheats on you, it's not 100% their fault. It's usually 70% their fault and 30% your fault. Something that you did to motivate them to cheat on you. Okay? Some kind of freedom, some kind of motivation that they had, some kind of inspiration that they had from you to cheat. Okay, and I inspired these women to cheat on me. I insisted that they cheat on me with the kind of energy and interaction that I had with them. I pushed them. I did it. The spirit of cheating was omnipresent in all of my relationships, except for this one. I'm not in a romantic relationship. But because of how I present myself and because of how I live my life, when people when people attack me, I just have to go super hard. I just have to go blackout hard. This explains it all. The breaking up with people on their birthdays, getting back together with them, cheating on them, and then breaking up with them right after that because that's all I wanted to do. The freaking talking to females on the phone when I'm getting my dick sucked. And I just, like, all these things I do purposely. I don't do these things now. That was like 10 years ago. This is when I was 18 and 20. And then the last situation, she deserved it. I didn't cheat on her, but I did something. It wasn't foul to me. She bought that. She bought it. She went to the store and I have the receipts. She shouldn't have did what she did, and I had to retaliate. But I also, in that situation, she didn't expect me to do what I did. She didn't expect me to make love to her in that way, so passionately and so intensely, and for her to tell me that was the best that she's ever had with anybody, ever, that just made it so much sweeter for me to wake her up the next morning and tell her that I packed all my shit and I was leaving. See, stuff like that, that was liberating. That helped me so much. That was very therapeutic. Very. So we're gonna start this morning off with that Aries gang bullshit, of course, all the time. And I want you to know that I'm not an asshole. I'm a leader. All right? AaroniMoses. Peace.